Vega, heaven's signal is here. Heaven's signal is here. What if heaven is not a location? What if heaven is not a place, but a state of regulation, a state of coherence? Those who came out to the Reset One, towards the end, I was talking to you about these levels of coherence. It's not just about being regulated. That's the foundation. There's levels to coherence and there's levels to heaven. There's seven heavens subdivided by seven, if you want to use the Hebraic Old Testament. There's seven heavens subdivided by seven. There's levels to heaven, just like there's levels to so-called hell or dysregulation. Everything is in levels. What if the ancient world understood something we forgot? What if they understood a deeper science that we're now discovering today? What if they knew that the regulated become the radiant, the coherent become magnetic, and the disconnected and unregulated become easy to control? They become pawns. Dysregulated, controlled by emotions, controlled by the lower self, controlled by the lower animalistic aspects of the spirit. So tonight we're going to talk about Vega. For those who don't know, Vega is a star system. It's a star. For those that are advanced students know that many of us have our origin there. And it's very, very ancient. And this ancient star was always associated with heaven. Did you know that? But it's also associated with the eagle. Now, how I know that this is all divinely inspired and that there's something speaking through Nazir Ra is because when I do my deeper research, it confirms everything that I teach. I teach, then I research, and it verifies, yes, Nazir, that is correct. Yes, you are rightly guided. Yes, you're leading people in the right direction. Vega is associated with the eagle. That's our symbol. If you look on the lower half of your screen, you'll see that eagle. The eagle is also associated with Christ consciousness. The eagle was the original so-called dove. That's the symbol. So when you see people with little fish on their car and you know, they think that's a symbol of Christ. No, we need to get some stickers with the eagle head. Say, no, this is the original Christ symbol. But it's a symbol of Christ. It's a symbol of consciousness and the nervous system. It's a symbol of the garden as well. If you read the deeper unedited text, it talks about in the Garden of Eden, there was an eagle witnessing everything, right? Jewish Kabbalists know it. The mystic teachings of Islam know it. The hidden texts know it. It's the eagle. When you start seeing the eagle, that lets you know that the Christ consciousness is on its way back to the planet. This is why the rise of the United States, the rise of the great eagle, right? A whole lot to it. I'm gonna stick to it tonight. I'm gonna stick to it tonight. Because so much information is coming through me, it's ridiculous. I'm about to explode. I'm about to explode. So let me get it out. So if it's all about this garden, what is associated with gardens? Flowers. Flowers emit aromas. And this is why scent is one of the fastest ways to shift your state. Sometimes when somebody walks by you, it's like, wow, it brightens you up when you smell a heavenly scent from somebody, something that smells really good. In Islam, we were taught to always be smelling impeccable because that attracts angels, we were taught. We were taught that that attracts frequencies of God, of Allah, when you're always smelling good. This is why Muslims always smell so good. It's part of the way of life of Islam. And I give thanks that I went through that. But smelling good is lining you up with paradise. It's lining you up with what we call Jannah, or paradise, or heaven. So tonight, for the next 24 hours, every single order, you're going to get a free bottle of our Vega scent. It's only for the summer. It's a limited time. You're going to get it free for the next 24 hours. So you can become that signal. Now, let me give you some science. How's everybody doing? Let's check in, everybody. Let's take attendance. Let's see who's in the building. I'm matching. I got my peach shirt, my peach drink, right? Right, coordinated. We can get into style too. I break it all down. Right? You ever notice how style is not even the same anymore? We bringing it all back. We were the first people to have style, the first people to wear jewelry, the first people to have scents and colognes and perfumes, the first people to wear makeup, the first people to even comb our hair. While they were living in caves in Europe, we were living in 3-story villas with indoor pools. So don't tell me we're not supposed to be luxurious. In fact, when you start to tap into living in abundance and luxury, that lets you know you on the frequency of your ancestors. You are a daughter of the king. You are a son of the king. You're supposed to be luxurious. Ashe? Shout out those cities. Danville, Virginia, always front and center. We have Toronto, Ontario, Washington. So let's dig deeper. Y'all ready? Ancient civilizations look to Vega because Vega was the ancient North Star. Our planet has a wobble to it. It shifts just like a spinning top. So every so many thousands of years, it tilts towards Polaris, which is where it's at now, and then it tilts back to Vega. Well, 12,000 years ago, Vega was our North Star, and it was our guiding light. It's how we navigated because it was the brightest star in the sky. And still to this day, it's one of the brightest stars in the sky. It's a celestial point of orientation. So in many ways, that's what calibration is about, balance. Okay. And in some traditions, it was associated with paradise. It was associated with music, beauty, a higher order, and heavenly harmony. This is all speaking to Ma'at. It is all speaking to Ma'at, which is the goddess of truth, balance, okay, and harmony. And like I said, it was an ancient symbol of the eagle. The eagle represents elevation because eagles don't fly, they soar, right? They're way above other pigeons and doves and sparrows and any other type of little birds that you find down here. No, they soaring above it. So it represents elevation, keen eyesight. It represents vision, and it represents transcendence. It also represents being able to fly over the chaos of this world. You're not supposed to be, see, an eagle is still in the world, but it has the opportunity to ascend and take flight and just witness all the foolishness down here. That's what we're doing here at Hidden Power Community. So in early mystical traditions, the eagle became associated with Christ consciousness, not weak religion, not theater, not performance, but Christ consciousness, real consciousness, and elevated consciousness. It represented coherence, alignment, and embodied truth, activated truth, right? The real deal. The eagle flies above chaos because heaven was never really about a place. It was never even about after death. All of these came about later, right? This is why they always say it's a garden. Well, there's a garden here on earth. Why is everything you're talking about heaven is things you can get on earth? Milk and honey, I can get that on earth. Harps, I can get that on earth. I can buy a white robe too. All the things they talk about in heaven, you can buy that stuff on earth. So what are you talking about? This is some extraterrestrial, far out place. Heaven and truth. These are all symbols, right? To give children and the lower initiates a reference point so they can understand the teachings. This is why it was taught to them. But we're in such a dormant state that we're staying retarded in a very childlike manner, understanding these higher spiritual concepts. It's really all about getting yourself together from the inside out. It's about heaven as coherence, order, harmony, union, a regulated state, be in control of your faculties and your executive function. Think about the symbolism of Eden. Eden was a garden. It's beautiful, flowers, beautiful fragrance, nature, abundance, peace. That was Eden. And it represents presence, divine presence. That's what heaven is being in the presence of the Most High, being in the presence of a high signal. It doesn't matter where you're at. In that presence, it will always be a beautiful, harmonious, joyous, actual experience. This is why you can be with the person you love dearly, and that brings you joy. And you can be in poverty and feel like $1,000,000. You feel phenomenal. You laughing, but the fact that the only thing we have is 2 slices of bread. You laughing about these things. You laughing about the hole in the wall and the dripping from the ceiling. You laughing because, man, I wouldn't be any place else because of the mere fact of the frequency that that person and what you create with that person puts you on. You can be on a luxury yacht with a fool, with a witch, right, and be in hell. So no, it's not about the physical aspect. It's all about the signal. So heaven is all about a signal. You can be in a beautiful garden and burning up hot, allergic, lactose intolerance to the milk and honey. So are you really in heaven? Let's put away child's toys today, right? Let's grow up today. Somebody say, wake them up. Let's wake somebody up. Share this video, by the way, because heaven's signal has come down. Heaven's signal has come down. When you're in the presence, there is no anxiety, there's no fragmentation, no hypervigilance. You don't have to feel on edge like you're not safe. Somebody told me the other day they sleeping with their wife. I was like, I feel like I'm sleeping with a crocodile. I feel like I'm going to get eaten up at any time. I can't sleep. Follow me? How many have experienced that? You living with a person that may be abusive in many different ways and things of this nature. You feeling like there's a impending danger. That's not heaven, that's hell. You want to be in a state where you are calm, regulated, and you feel ultimately safe and secure. Your heart and your spirit can rest at ease and at peace. Modern humans lost the garden frequency. We lost the Vega frequency or our calibration to Vega. Because when you look at those stars, you think you're looking out, but you're really looking in. Because everything out here is a reflection from that which is in you. I'm getting a little heavy now. Just let it marinate. Just let it, when you go to sleep, maybe you have an epiphany, say, oh, wow, that makes sense. Because everything you see, hear, touch, taste, and smell is given to you by your nervous system. So it's not about what's out there. It's about what you can control in here. The universe is all in the mind. And the universe is mental, as our ancestors taught us. We lost our garden frequency because of constant stimulation, constant scrolling, phones, stress, fear, artificial light, noise, emotional fragmentation. You have all of these pressures and demands and finances, illnesses and sickness, and some of that stuff, it all boils down to dysregulation when you get down to it, and disconnection. So the result, people are dysregulated, disconnected, reactive, and exhausted. People are tired. But aroma and scent. Every night I diffuse the frankincense and myrrh. I also do oud, right? Coming from Arabia, oud. I do also Vega now, okay? And it calms your nervous system because scents have always been sacred to us. In fact, everything was sacred to us, even jewelry. Jewelry helps keep you on the frequency as well. It helps regulate you. You know, you can wear gold, but you know, nowadays we have our nanoparticles of gold. You can actually ingest gold and take your nervous system to the next level. We have that in place as well. But frankincense, flowers, resins, oils, our ancestors we used to be so obsessed with beauty, obsessed with smelling good and looking good and being fresh, that they would have this scented wax. It was made out of certain animals' fat, and the woman would wear it on the top of the head in the beginning of the day. And it would melt throughout the day and moisturize their skin and also give them a beautiful scent all day. The sister said, forget that. I'm staying fresh all day. You see? So it would keep their skin glistening and just looking like honey, like gold, and smelling fresh and soft and moisturized. See, we got to get back to that, people. We got to get back to that. Being dusty is not conscious. Being funky, not conscious. That's not where it's at. That's not the signal. That ain't heavenly. That's hellish. No, we want to be beautiful, right? Beautiful inside and out. Smelling fresh, smelling good. I'm a Taurus, so I love anything. I love nice fabrics, anything sensual, smelling good, soft skin, right? Giving a little hint out there, smelling good, soft skin, right? We got to keep our hygiene up. Now, why are scents so powerful? Why is aroma so powerful? Because it bypasses the logical mind. It bypasses the conscious mind, and it goes directly to the nervous system. It bypasses logic and it speaks directly to your limbic system, to be precise. Your limbic system is your brain stem or your reptilian brain. Going into a little Naga information now. At our core, we are Nagas, reptilians. Just look at what develops first. The reptilian brain or the limbic system or the spinal cord. That's giving you a clue. Everything that you need to know, if you study science deep enough, the Most High reveals everything to you. This is why you said you're supposed to study and make yourself well known and knowledgeable. This is why our ancient ones are monks and things of this nature. They were always scientists and studied. If you look deep enough in it, you look at an embryo in its first form, it looks like a snake. And the nervous system, the spinal cord is the first thing that developed. That's letting you know that's your foundation. So aromas and scents speak right to your foundation. This is ancient knowledge. And the vagus nerve is the regulatory highway between the brain and the body. It controls your emotional regulation, relaxation, breathing, heart rhythm, all your drives, right? Fight or flight, the drive to reproduce. Follow me? Digestion, social calmness, and we're supposed to have a very strong sex drive. If your stuff is, dusty, it ain't really cranked up, that means you don't have enough life flowing through your body, because our Father is a creator, and how we create is through reproduction. So life force, this helps raise your life force. When the vagus nerve is healthy, you feel grounded, you feel creative, you feel like, let's do something. I'm ready to break free. I'm ready to go to the next level. You feel phenomenal. You feel present. You feel safe. You feel clear, secure. That's why certain aromas immediately change your state. Certain things will change your state, right? We had a property, the grass was getting a little long. Finally, we cut the grass. One of my sons said, Dad, what's that smell? I said, son, that's the smell of fresh cut grass. I can't tell you how, and there's different species, but I feel phenomenal when I smell fresh cut grass, because I played so many years in that grass playing tag. Remember tag and freeze tag and hide and go seek and red light, green light, 1, 2, 3, all in the 80s. And that beautiful, lush grass, playing football in different leagues and things of this nature. So when I smell fresh cut grass, it gives me a zest. It gives me a spark that takes me back. So I love that. But many things, it could be anything. You smell the way, maybe your mom baked cookies Or maybe your dad smoked cigars or a pipe, and your grandfather, you smell that thing, it makes you feel, wow, it just takes you back. That's letting you know how powerful scents are. The olfactory system, that's your sense of smell. The olfactory system directly affects your emotional and autonomic centers of the brain, meaning scent can shift your state faster than thought. One thing I love is a good smelling woman. Just good smelling anybody, but I'm a man. So look, fresh smells, fresh. I love that. Keep yourself fresh. Razan. Now, I'm gonna break down what's all in it. This is why Razan is so powerful. It was designed to shift your state. It was designed specifically in a very powerful way to address your regulation, but also shift your state. Vega was inspired somewhat by Baccarat Rouge 540. I'm not sure if you heard of it, but it's a very, very high end scent. And ours is deeper. It has a deeper profile. It's warmer, it's more grounded, and it has a stronger musk foundation. So it's not just a fragrance, it's actually an atmosphere. When you come into the room, you change the atmosphere. You're supposed to be changing the atmosphere anyway because of you being on a higher signal, being regulated, right? Being clear and coherent. But when you wear Vega, it changes the environment of the room, and it can't be ignored. People will 100% say, what is that smell? Where did you get that? Because it smells like nothing else you ever smelled before. One of the main reasons is because of the saffron. Saffron was one of the scents that was very prevalent in the Garden of Eden. Right? The Garden of Eden represents a primal state of innocence and of bliss. So saffron vibrates on the frequency of primal bliss. It's a warm spice and it's extremely luxurious. And I don't like to use the word expensive, but it's of high value. So that's why it has that red color. That's the saffron. It creates emotional warmth and elevated mood, and it feels and it gives you a feeling of luxury. It vibrates on luxury. What is luxury? Luxury is high quality, right? Luxury is high quality. Luxury is of a high vibration, of high value, and it feels expansive. The next one is going to be jasmine. Jasmine softens the tension a little bit. It creates openness and it creates a calm, natural confidence, and it's associated with emotional relaxation as well as attraction. So this gives you a little the sensual. Next is cedarwood. Cedarwood is going to bring in the grounding frequencies. So we have the luxury, we have the confidence and attraction, but now we're going to ground the energy too with the cedarwood. Now it's going to be grounding, stable, rooted, and it reduces your mental scatter. So anything grounding makes you practical, makes you down to earth. I'm an earth sign as well. So we're grounding and practical. And that's what that's going to do. It's going to keep you from floating off. It's going to keep you grounded to the earth. Next one is fir resin. Gives you a forest energy, more of a calming energy and restorative. It represents, forests represent the lungs. Anything green is going to represent the lungs associated with the heart. So that's going to bring you the breathing and the refreshing and the circulation and a restorative aspect. Next is going to be your amber, another very high-end fragrance or oil. And this is going to create your warmth, skin-like radiance, and it's going to trigger familiarity. Familiarity is safety. Your brain loves things that are familiar. It relaxes. That's safe. I know that. I know what that is. I know that person. I feel safe. Right? I know that food. That's good. That goes down good. That's safe. So it's going to trigger familiarity and safety, comfort, and intimacy. You can't be correctly intimate with somebody that you don't feel safe around, that you don't trust. Follow me? You can't go to those deep levels. You can't even open up if you don't really trust the person. But this is going to trigger comfort, intimacy, and familiarity trust and safety. Next is where it goes to the next level. It's going to be the musk. The musk is going to give you a base of embodiment. So it's going to bring it all together in terms of presence and embodiment, warmth, gravity, and a high level of magnetism. This is why when you look on the website, one of my members said, "What's up with this Vega, Nazir?" I said, she didn't know I was going to build on that. I already had it in, it was already in my back pocket to talk about Vega, but it's going to give you the magnetism. So if I was to put it to a sound, it would be some of your Luther Vandross, right? It would be like that. That's the energy of it. So when you see our banner and you see the couple, you can feel the energy coming through, the primal energy of that. So just letting you know, just letting you know. And you know, Luther Vandross made some baby making music. So, govern yourself accordingly, right? But the must makes it feel primal. And primal means raw. Primal means basic. It means foundational, deep, rich, calm, alive, and not artificial. This is a very human scent, and it was designed specifically for the summer. Specifically for the summer. Every summer, you should be going to the next level. The summer represents the rise of masculine energy, solar energy. This is why Father's Day is right on the what? Solar solstice. And that's the time to make things happen, make changes in your life, be bold. One of our mottos is bold moves. We need to be making bold moves in the summer. This is the time to get things popping. It's not about, we have a time for rest and restoration and meditation and planting seeds. No, the summer's about taking action. It's about being bold. And the summer is a time where you remember those summers. No one ever says, that was a nice winter. That winter, there's no, people talk about the summers, how hot the summer was, all the things they did in the summer. This is why this is only out for summer 2026. People remember energy. You remember the presence. You remember the signal in the atmosphere. And you're going to remember this scent. Most people smell loud, chaotic, synthetic. No, it's about being different and unique. Okay. And Vega was designed for warmth, radiance, clean, grounded, luxurious presence. Like sunlight on your skin. Better than that, starlight on your skin. Starlight on your skin. It's like confidence without effort. It's ease. This is not a heavy winter fragrance. This is really a summer nighttime fragrance. I was telling one of my sons just graduated, I gave him a plethora of different colognes. I say, son, you got to figure out which one it is. I'm going to give you an assignment. One may be for a date. The other one's for out and about. The other one's for daytime. The other one is for this. You have different scents in your repertoire as a king and as a queen too. But I teach my sons, you don't just rock every scent. There's different scents for different things. There's different scents for different people based on the energy and the chemistry. Right? This is the science of it. So this is why it's a nighttime scene. This is a summer night scent. You can wear it whenever you want, but it's dealing with starlight on your skin. Starlight on your skin. This is elevated luxury, people. This is the primal signal, and I love it. And every time I wear it, the fact that I can smell it 3 days later, still on my skin. Still on my skin. I stopped even using scented soap because it's going to interfere with the different chemistry that I deal with in terms of my aromas, right? Because this is all chemistry and alchemy. This is also alchemy. So that's just something I do. But the signal for the next 24 hours only, every single order, even if you get something small, I'm going to put them in the bag. Everybody gets Rizaan for the next 24 hours, then it's over. head on over to hiddenpowerwellness.com and get your free sample. And the sample alone is going to last you probably maybe a week or two. So you can really experience it for yourself and see why it's so powerful. Okay. So the regulated become magnetic, and it's time for you to become the signal. So that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.